Welcome to the Huntington Way Show, where we help parents navigate the educational maze. Today's topic is incorporating uh, science in your homeschool. I'm your host, Yvonne Strachan, author and founder of InspirationalHomeschooling.com. You are listening on Power Talk 1040 AM, 98.5 FM, and 95.7 FM. Please like and subscribe to Power Talk 1040 on YouTube. I'm here with Hudson Puhek, and we are talking about Homeschool Science Colorado and his role that he plays in working with everybody there as team captain and um, where they're going. And then later on, we're going to talk about Hudson's exciting plans after graduation. Welcome, Hudson.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
It's good to have you here. Thank you for joining us today. So, what does it look like to compete in the Science Olympiad?
So, competing in Science Olympiad, there are a few things involved. So, the first thing is just the boring studying on your own, which is required more so. So, in order to fully understand what it looks like to compete in Science Olympiad, you have to understand the different types of events that exist. So, I would say there are three, maybe four different types. So, the first is knowledge. You're given a subject and you have a test to take. That's just pure studying and test taking strategies. The next one is a build event. You are given parameters, so you have to build a device to complete some kind of objective within certain parameters. And then you have combination and lab events. So lab events almost always have a test involved. I've been involved with those. And then there are test and build events. So lab events, of course, you're going to practice through the labs. And build events, it will be a lot of building, troubleshooting, and tearing your hair out because they're the most rewarding, but they're also the most frustrating because when it's a test, it's just you either know it or you don't. When it's a device, something can break unexpectedly. It could break in transit. It could just stop working. That has happened. But what it really looks like to compete in Science Olympiad is, as a team, we have bi-monthly team meetings that almost everyone on the team attends, and those are mostly informational and team building. And then I try to meet weekly with all of my partners with the different events. Now, Science Olympiad, our team has to cover 23 events. However, we only have 15 team members, and each event requires at least two people. So you're usually on four, sometimes even five events. And so I try to meet with all of my event partners at least once a week. And usually that's an hour meeting and then study on my own. So that's what studying for the lead up to competing in Science Olympiad looks like. Now, the actual competition is, of course, the fun part. That's what all this is for. So the competition is basically it's usually on a college campus, and they have all these different events in different rooms. So each event takes place over a 50-minute time period. If it's a test, you walk in, you have a 50-minute timer, you take the test, you do as well as you can on it. If it's a build event, usually you show up, you have a shorter time limit, sometimes 10 minutes to get your run in and all that. If it's a combination event, those can be interesting. Usually you have to like take a test while simultaneously doing the lab. One person does the test, one person does the lab. But it's a lot of fun. You get to go all over college campuses. And it's not like a tour. You're going into these classrooms. It's a whole lot of fun. Um, being there with all the different team members and all that. It's the competitions, despite how stressful they are extremely fun and just a overall really good time. So that's kind of what it looks like to compete in Science Olympiad.
Okay. So you talked about studying before um, the Science Olympiad at home to prepare for that. So what does that look like? What do you have to do to prepare yourself?
So fortunately for Science Olympiad, it's a nationwide organization, and there are a lot of invitationals. And invitationals are not real competitions; they're fake competitions, practice competitions, I should say. And so usually what I would do to study is, first of all, you're given a rule set. Now I'm going to talk about studying for a knowledge event first. So the rule set basically says everything you have to study, and So what I'll usually do is I'll go through every section on the rule set, look it up, and try and get a general understanding of it. However, most of the times the topics are rather broad and you don't really know what they're going to ask. So the most important thing that I did while studying for different knowledge events was taking practice tests, like a lot of practice tests over and over, and you start to get a feel for what questions are asked on the different topics, and sometimes what completely off topic questions are asked. So that's mostly what studying for a knowledge event looks like. Now, practicing for a build event is different. First of all, you have to design and construct your device. So that usually takes the first half of the Science Olympiad season, the fall semester. And then once you've done that, it's all about practice. Because, like I said, build events can break whenever. You just never know. So the more you practice with it and the better you know your device, um, the better things are going to go. So yeah.
Okay. So that's really interesting. And I kind of keyed into that area where you were saying practice tests. You're taking many practice tests. What did those look like and where do you get them? Does Science
So there's a
Olympiad?
great website called Scioli, and
Okay.
they have an archive of all the tests that have been released by invitationals for that year, if the invitationals choose to post them. And usually you'll end up with uh, 10 to 15, I guess 10 to 20 different test sets. And the test sets, that's one test for each event. So that's where I'd find them, and they usually look very similar to how the test looks in competition. Sometimes a bit shorter, sometimes a lot harder, sometimes a lot longer. It really depends. But yeah,
Okay.
that's where I would get those.
Okay. And is that provided by the Homeschool Science Colorado or do they just show you the resources and you get those yourself or how does that work?
It's mostly independent and just getting it yourself. Now, um, the Homeschool Science Colorado team, and of course I'm the team captain, so um, whenever anybody is struggling with an event and just doesn't know what they're doing, we work hard as a team to make sure they get the resources necessary to succeed. However, but for me, because I've been on the team for 7 years, I know what I'm doing by this point. It was almost entirely independent.
Oh, great. So, as the team captain, what are some of the things you do to bring the team together?
Right. So the first thing as a team captain is you kind of set the tone of the team, and you have to remember that because you're the team captain, you're not just a competitor anymore. Everybody's looking up to you because the team captain is almost always the most experienced person on the team. So everybody's looking up to you. So you have to be sure to set an example for everyone else. The second thing I do as a team captain is during those bi-monthly team meetings, or not bi-monthly, it's twice a month, sometimes more. Uh, I would often run part of the team meeting where the C team would break out and we do some, and usually I'd go around ask how everybody's doing on their events, make sure everybody's doing fine, doesn't feel lost or anything like that, and then usually a team building activity as well.
Oh, that's great. So, you're really preparing everybody as a team as you work together.
Yes.
And so, there's a lot of competitions from what it sounds like. How many are there in a year as you prepare, and what have your successes looked like?
So that changed over. So the amount of competitions we competed in really changed over the pandemic because virtual invitationals became a thing. So usually we'll do a few, 3 to 4 invitationals, and then you have two main competitions: regionals, and then if you place like in the top half in regionals, you go to state, and then if you win state, you go to nationals, which we did this year. So usually two real competitions and several invitationals. Some of the achievements that and accomplishments I've gained during my time in Science Olympiad, I've won 48. That's combining both my regional and state medals, as well as my SIO. It was a nationwide online test, and it was for astronomy, and I placed top 20 for 2 years in a row.
Wow, that's great. So, I am so thankful that you came to talk to me today about Homeschool Science Colorado and Science Olympiad. When we come back, I will be talking to Hudson about his plans after high school graduation. Welcome back to the Huntington Way Show. You are listening to Power Talk 1040 AM, 98.5 FM, and 95.7 FM. Please like and subscribe to Power Talk 1040 on YouTube. I'm here with Hudson Puhek, and we are talking about his exciting plans after high school graduation. Welcome back, Hudson.
Yeah, thank you.
So, we've been talking about Homeschool Science Colorado, and I want to know how Homeschool Science Colorado has prepared you for your future.
Well, that's a great question. So I think science, competing in the Science Olympiad, specifically with Homeschool Science Colorado, was the best thing I did to prepare for my future. Why? Well, it's because of just what Science Olympiad really hones in. Now, Science Olympiad is almost entirely independent study, but with that independent study comes all kinds of important skills I don't think I would have learned otherwise. So one of them is the ability to just go out and find information. We live in the age of information. You can find almost anything on the internet. So learning how to properly utilize those tools is very, very important. And that's something Science Olympiad really helped me with. Another thing that Science Olympiad helps with is critical thinking and reasoning skills. Why? Well, say with a knowledge event, you have a test, but you have no idea what they're going to put on the test. You have all the knowledge, everything you've learned, but they could ask you something adjacent to what you learned, and you've got to think, okay, how do I represent my knowledge and answer the question to the best of my ability? Because I don't know the exact answer. Or sometimes it'll be like a mathematical problem asked in a way you've never thought of before. Um, Learning how to reason through and think through that is extremely important. That's from the knowledge events. The build events where you have to build and troubleshoot and test a device, that's even better as far as troubleshooting and critical thinking are concerned because you've built the device, but it's going to fail at some point. That's just guaranteed. And now you have to troubleshoot. Okay, what went wrong? Why did it go wrong? How can I fix it? So those are some of the extremely important skills that I gained from competing in Science Olympiad. Now they've helped with they've already helped like um, because reasoning and all that came very easy to me, and because I just am naturally inclined to mathematics, I ended up with a very very high SAT score. And because of that, I was receiving all kinds of letters. I received like an entire book from Yale asking me to come there, Harvard, all of those big colleges, with the exception of like MIT or Caltech, they were all contacting me and asking and attempting to recruit me and all that. And I directly attribute some of that to Science Olympiad because of the reasoning skills and studying skills that it taught me.
Wow, that is amazing. Obviously, you have a great, bright future. So, what are your future plans? I'm excited to
So,
know.
yeah, so my plan is currently to study aerospace engineering. Um, Uh, as far as future plans are concerned, I am going to go to college. Now, where I'm not sure yet because I'm waiting on a decision from the Air Force Academy. I applied there. If I get rejected from the Air Force Academy, I'm going to go to UCCS. They just recently started an aerospace engineering program, and usually most employers don't really care about where you got the degree; they just care about the degree. So, that UCCS, from what I can tell from the record, is a great institution. And yeah, so that is my current future plan.
That's great. Aerospace engineering. Wow, that's a great future. What do aerospace engineers do? I'm sure some people don't know. So, can you share that with our audience?
So aerospace engineering covers a couple different facets of engineering. So space and aeronautical. So space engineering has to deal with mostly satellites, rockets, and all that. And then aerospace engineering and aeronautical engineering deals more with the aircraft side of things, so like airplanes, airliners, fighter jets, rockets, all of that. So as far as what an aerospace engineer does, they design they design components for aerospace purposes. So first of all, engineers, their whole thing is to solve problems. So let's say we have a problem. The problem could be we want greater fuel efficiency for our next generation of airliner jets because greater fuel efficiency, less cost, higher profit, all that. So an engineer, as an aerospace engineer, he would look at everything and go, okay, how can we change and improve our current design to get greater fuel efficiency or greater range or greater speed or anything like that? So it's just engineering applied to the aerospace field.
That's great and very needed with everything that we do in aerospace and all the future that is available to us. I mean, I know we're going to be going to Mars and all kinds of exciting places, and so it's going to be so exciting to be a big part of that.
Yes.
Now, you'd mentioned, you know, Yale, the Air Force Academy, and with those types of places, you really need to be strong in leadership. And so, how has Homeschool Science Colorado prepared you for that?
So with Science Olympiad, you do nothing alone. Doesn't matter what event you're on, you always have a partner. Um, and learning how to work with your partner is incredibly important. Now, again, I've been on the team for 7 years, and I'm the oldest and most experienced person on the team at the moment. And because of that, it naturally puts me in the leadership position. That, and I'm officially the team captain, so I'm in an even greater leadership position. But Science Olympiad has really allowed me to hone my leadership skills. Where, first of all, we basically have to define what does a leader even do. So one thing, a leader leads by example. Um, a good leader leads by example. They don't ask those who follow to do anything that they wouldn't do. So because of that, as team captain, I've had to take many events I did not necessarily want. Like this year, I had to take Chem Lab. Chemistry, I'm decent at it, but it's really not my forte at all. I'm more of a physics person. But because the team, I was the best person. The team needed me to do, it, even though I would much rather not. I took it anyways. So leadership by example, and another thing a leader does is they make sure everybody on the team, everybody that they're leading, has what it takes to succeed, and that they are in a position where they are able to succeed. And that's something that Science Olympiad has really allowed me to see and experience firsthand.
Yeah, so a lot of team building skills are brought into the Science Olympiad as well. And so, can you speak to that?
Team building skills. So like I said, we meet as a team usually twice or 3 times per month. And when we meet as a team, I would usually do a team building activity. It'd usually be something goofy, like get around in a circle of a chair. Somebody stands in the middle, says something they've never done. If you have done it, you have to like stand up and shuffle around. It's goofy things, but the whole idea behind it is to build a connection between the team members and to let them know that one, they're not alone. They're not doing this alone. Uh, even they need to, and another thing that they have a responsibility because if you fail, you're not just dragging yourself down, you're dragging the partner on that event down, and you're dragging the entire team down. Now, we do not emphasize the negative side of that, but it's there. Um, and then, of course, the positive side is if you do well, you're not just doing well for yourself, you're doing well for the entire team. And just building that connection between team members, showing that they're not alone and that it's all connected is incredibly important.
So, Hudson, where can we find information about Homeschool Science Colorado?
So you can find more information about our team, Homeschool Science Colorado, on the website. On the web we have a website, homeschoolsciencecolorado.com, or you can contact us at homeschoolsciencecolorado@gmail.com. I would say.
Yeah. So, Homeschool Science Colorado builds you up as being able to go to college and all of these types of things. So, you know, creates you into a well rounded individual, a leader, a team member. And these are all wonderful things. I am so thankful that you are here today and that you shared about Homeschool Science Colorado and Science Olympiad. This has been a great conversation, and I'm sure just um, very helpful to our listeners and all the homeschool families out there. This is Yvonne Strachan, today's host on the Huntington Way Show, where we support you in educating your kids. You can listen in at 1040 a.m., 98.5 FM, and 95.7 FM, or like and subscribe on YouTube. Thank you for joining us.